Welcome guys! Today I'm bringing you a guide to the crossbow in PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. It'll bring you insights regarding the weapon which will allow you to use it with far more precision than before. This is a difficult weapon to use, but don't worry, sit back and let Wacky Jacky 101 teach you. In this guide I'll go over the following: how to use the scope, master the built-in rangefinder, aiming above and ahead of your target, and some pros and cons. To the right of the scope we have the range indicators, which is 50, 100 and 200 meters. Then we have the dots we use for aiming, and there's actually a hidden 300 meter aim point right here. The rangefinder. The correct way to rangefind using this scope is using the horizontal lines in the scope here to measure the approximate height of a player. A player will fit between these lines on 3 respective distances of 50, 100 and 200 meters. For instance, a player at 100 meters of distance would fit right here and would require you to use the 100 meter dot in order to hit precisely. Now, playing around with this, I found another way to rangefind, which can make the rangefighting go faster. It felt a bit clunky to rangefind using the official rangefinder, as you have to move your aim away from the target in order to measure. The method I'm going to show you now is, as far as I know, not the technically correct way, but it works great in practice. In the end, it's up to you to choose which way you want to rangefind. A standing player at 50 meters of distance will fit perfectly between the lower and top dot of the scope, so if a player fits there, you'd have to use the 50 meter dot for precision shots. A player standing at 100 meters will fit between the top and the middle dot of the scope, meaning you'd have to aim using the 100 meter dot. At 200 meters of distance, a standing player fits between the 2 dots in the top of the scope, and you'd be aiming using the 200 meter dot. At 100 meters of distance to my target, you can clearly see the standing player fitting perfectly between the top and center dot. Firing an arrow using the 100 meter mark will hit with surgical precision. At 200 meters of distance to my target, you can see how the standing player fits between the 2 top dots. Firing an arrow using the 200 meter mark will hit my target, even at this long range. The distance finder can't measure targets further away than 200 meters. But this is how hitting a target at 300 meters of distance looks like with a crossbow. It's not designed for this distance, but it works, so why not let my brave target dummy take another hit? Hitting moving targets with the crossbow on distances of more than 50 meters is very hard, but we can calculate how far ahead of the target we need to shoot. The velocity of the arrow is 160 meters per second. The distance to our target is 100 meters. It takes the arrow 0.625 seconds to fly 100 meters. And with a player run speed of 6 meters per second, that player will have moved 3.75 meters before arrow impact. So with a player width of approximately 0.6 meters, we will need to aim 6 player models ahead at 100 meters and 3 player models ahead at 50 meters. Now obviously this is extremely hard to do, which is why trying to hit moving targets, even though it's possible, isn't something I would recommend using the crossbow for. So to summarize, the crossbow is amazing at performing silent kills with extremely high damage at short to medium range. And it has a built-in rangefinder, which is awesome. The crossbow is extremely difficult to use against moving target, and it has a very high reload time, although you can reduce the reload time by 30% by equipping a quiver as attachment. Now that's all I had for you guys in this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I expect to be silently killed by you in the near future. Don't forget to subscribe if you like the content, and I'll see you guys next time!